These are the stories topping the news. Ministry of Health issues safety guidelines. IDB President impressed with Jamaica's economic progress. And New York community mourns slain officers. Good afternoon and welcome to ZIZ Midday Newscast for Monday, December 22nd, 2014. I'm Kyla Berridge. Now the news in detail. In a previous newscast, ZIZ reported on the strong response of the general public to the reduced VAT days. And as Jason Davis tells us in this report, the shoppers themselves were giving the discount days a thumbs up.
Friday, December 19 has been referred to as the local version of Black Friday, where the combination of a reduced value-added tax and independently offered store discounts has led to bigger savings for consumers. While thousands of persons hurried about through downtown Basse-Terre, our cameras managed to catch up with a few shoppers to find out what they thought about the reduced VAT day.
Well, the VAT day has been treating me wonderful so far. I've got a lot of good bargains so far, so my house will be looking absolutely wonderful for Christmas.
Yeah, the little savings is good for the season, you know. Anything to save a little change.
Yeah. Great day for the customers.
This is a great opportunity to save.
The Prime Minister Douglas do a great thing. Take our VAT. Today is in December. That is very good for the poor people. Poor people really needed this thing at this time. I'm going to say today is the best day Douglas sent for the whole year. But I save like $600 today. I mean, I can't want nobody say if it was short time, it's sweet still.
Many shoppers took the opportunity to buy items to spruce up their homes and get ready for the holiday season.
I bought 2 sheets and some raisins to make some cakes.
Some mats, bathroom mats, as well as mats for the kitchen and so on, just to make the house look a little more improved for the season.
It's season coming up and you need to get a little fresh clothes to put on to go party.
And while the official total of business revenue hasn't been compiled as yet, records at the Inland Revenue Department indicate that there has been a steady increase over the years. 2013 recorded a total of $33.9 million in income. Jason Davis for ZIZ News.
The Ministry of Health, particularly Chief Medical Officer Dr. Patrick Martin, has issued health and safety guidelines for Christmas Carnival season. In the area of food safety, persons are being advised to keep meats frozen until ready for preparation, prepare meats in an area separate from other foods, keep countertops dry and clean with detergent, and serve meats and starches hot. In the area of good nutrition, persons are advised to consume local or homemade foods and beverages and eat lots of snacks. Meantime, persons with diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, kidney disease, and allergies are cautioned not to consume processed foods, including imported sausage, ham, poultry, can have high concentrations of fat, salt, refined sugar, and preservative chemicals. In the area of general wellness guidance, the ministry advises that persons be their own safety inspector when purchasing or consuming food at home or from restaurants, cafes, or vendors, and engage in lots of walking, jogging, swimming, and dancing. The release also provides information about unsafe food and consuming alcohol. Sugar Blast 43 continues this week with a number of exciting activities. This comes after weeks of private and Carnival Committee organized activities. Today, Monday, we'll see 4 of the Federation's top bands providing entertainment at the Sugar Mill. ZIZ News has confirmed that the Collision, Grandmasters, New Vibes, and Small Axe bands will be featured from 7 p.m. at the Sugar Mill for a cost of $5. Tuesday, December 23rd, we'll see the staging of the Junior Calypso Monarch and Steel Pan Festival. A more mellow mood will be taken on Thursday, Christmas Day, when GMS hosts its Epic 2 boat ride. Juve troops will be on display on Friday for the annual Juve Jam through the streets of Basse-Terre, while Inception Fete will round up this week's activities. This year's carnival has so far crowned 4 winners: Unexpected as Best of the Rest Calypso King, Mr. Bagnall as the new TDC Goofy Soca Monarch, Sugar Bowl as the ZIZ Power Soca Monarch, and the Bastia High School's Ricky Blake Brooks as the new National Talented Teen Queen. Meanwhile, SL Hosford's St. Paul's United are this year's Carnival Cup winners. Sugar Mass 43 is being celebrated under the theme Join the Fun and Revelry, Sugar Mass 43. In regional news, Luis Alberto Moreno, president of the Inter-American Development Bank, IDB, left behind a feel-good message for the government and those watching over the Jamaican economy, saying he was truly impressed with the country's progress since his last visit. Moreno emphasized, however, that the administration had to continue the transformation of the economy as important reforms remained to be implemented. He said the IDB was actively working on the next country strategy covering the period 2015 to 2019, which would focus on accelerating growth and equipping Jamaica to embrace the reality of a new modern economy. He also expressed the bank's commitment to supporting Jamaica. The Parika Mora Local Authority in Guyana is being accused of destroying a family's newly built home. We hear more in this report.
Captured on phone camera, a number of men are seen tearing down a newly built home of Kavita Dean. The incident occurred Thursday morning and was upon orders by the management committee of the local NDC and supervised by the police.
Yesterday morning, 9 o'clock, NDC sent a letter to me that they come in and break my building. That was 9 o'clock. And 15 minutes after, they come with sledgehammer and start breaking my building down.
The house is situated at the Parika Facade squatter settlement. It's the place where the woman grew up and lived as part of an extended family. The house was newly built to accommodate the growing family.
My mother lived there for 35 years and I lived there for 22 years because that is my age, I carry.
Dean said a new resident of the area claims that the house would be blocking her passageway. The incident has angered neighbours such as Siraj Lilo, who has been living at the Parika Facade for the past 50 years.
Them holy wardrobe fling it out the house. They call the man document, throw it away. All the papers, then when I say, "Bye, I can't do this thing," the policeman say, "Shut your mouth before we carry you to the station."
Another resident of the area, Golden Couchman, accused the local authority of abusing their power.
I just tell the police that how I could carry baby bottle. And if lastly, they tell me no business with nothing. I even ask them for my hammer. They say, I have to go to the people and for start for my hammer. They carry my hammer, me start. The girl borrow it, I ask for it. They say, I have to go start for it. And I told and tell us, are you taking advantage? That this is advantage.
At the first call to the NDC, Capital News was told by the woman who answered the phone that she could not give out the name of the chairman and that we should contact the permanent secretary of the Ministry of Local Government. Once we did that, we found out that his name was Jaidio Suku. We called again at the NDC office. The woman said he was not at the office. We asked to talk with the overseer, and she said the chairman, who was supposedly not in the office, said he will only do an interview on camera and that, in any case, that has to be done by appointment next week. And so it is still unclear why Kavita Dean's house was destroyed. For Capital News, Neil Mark.
Internationally, residents and public officials are paying their respects to 2 murdered New York Police Department officers with a memorial at the crime scene. We hear more in this report.
My wife screamed in the house. She says, "Allie, Allie, Allie, it's our neighbor."
Alexander Justy is still in shock after learning his neighbor Rafael Ramos was one of 2 officers gunned down Saturday in the line of duty. Justy says Ramos was a good husband and wonderful father to his sons.
Oh, they were so close. They were so close. It was unbelievable how close they were. Every day you see him with his son. Every day go play basketball at the park.
Throughout the day Sunday, this memorial grew at the site of the shooting. NYPD officers bowed their heads in silence while Commissioner Bratton left flowers. Members of the community stopped by to pay their respects.
Could have been my son. Because everything that's going on, it's really sad for everybody's life, you know, not only the police.
They were just here to protect us, and they got ambushed.
One person we spoke with said there's been tension in the community for weeks, but he never expected it to lead to this.
Cop killing ain't the answer. Killing civilians is not the answer.
3 of the city's borough presidents echoed that call for unity.
We are asking all
New Yorkers to turn this pain into purpose and to ensure that we send out a very clear and loud message. All lives matter.
Message should be that we are one city, that we absolutely do not support any life being killed.
There is no room for opinion. What happened here yesterday is wrong. What happened here yesterday was an assassination to all of us as a society.
Brooklyn Borough President and former police officer Eric Adams also said he's contacted organizers of recent demonstrations to ask that protests be put on hold out of respect for the officers until they can be buried in peace. In Bedford-Stuyvesant, Tara Lynn Wagner, New York 1.
There has been mixed reactions to the diplomatic breakthrough between Cuba and the U.S. Years of mutual distrust have left their mark, but what lies ahead for the next generation of Cubans?
On a side street in central Havana, kids being kids, not a worry in the world. Watching on the sidelines, 13-year-old Luigi Hernandez and his 10-year-old friend Leonardo Fabio anxiously wait in line for their chance to play. Even at their tender age, they say they have a view on what changes could be coming to their country with the promise of better relations with the United States.
Without this blockade, we won't have to bring everything from China, so maybe our school lunches will get better. Everything will be more modernized.
Most Cubans don't have internet at home, and Leonardo is hoping that will now change so he can do things many other children in the world now take for granted.
I think it will be better because we will have the power to communicate with people that are abroad by internet, to connect with them, to send emails, like to my father, who has been living in the US the past months.
Cuba is a country where for decades the big, important decisions have been made by a small group of leaders, like Fidel and now his brother Raul Castro, now in his 80s. It is they who have shaped Cuba into what it is today.
But it's the Cuban children, those so young they have no historical context of where the country's been, that could gain the most in the long term from the new relationship with the United States, especially if the blockade is completely lifted. Either way, they'll be the first generation that could be growing up in a new Cuba.
But that's if they decide to stay. Look everywhere around Havana, and you'll see signs of Americana in unusual places. But for kids, it's not a political statement, just a fashion trend of the moment, but it's now more symbolic than ever of the decision to leave or stay.
For sure, I wanted to live in the United States because it's better for my future.
I want to visit the US, but I still want to continue to live here in Cuba.
As the sun sets on the famous city boardwalk, kids gather to catch the last rays of afternoon sun, even the youngest knowing full well that their country is entering uncharted waters. Gabriel Elizondo, Al Jazeera, Havana.
Now the weather. Today we will experience sunny skies with temperatures reaching a high of 29 degrees and a low of 24 degrees. Tonight skies are expected to be clear with increasing clouds and showers later in the evening. Sunset will be at 5:41 p.m. That's it for ZIZ Midday Newscast. Join us at 6:30 and 7 p.m. for the evening news. Thank you for joining us. I'm Kyla Barrage.